May I ask if any of the board members have any comments or questions at this time?
And I would like to know what damages were done at the school.
Okay, so I went
As a
over
result
those
of the
with
storm.
you
Could
in
you
the
repeat that?
email. Can you hear me, Gus?
Yes.
Gus? You can hear me?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So again, it's exactly what I said in the text that I sent. There was damage to the gym floor, damage to the roof, and damage to the cafeteria ceiling, and also some of the black brand new fences outside, along with potentially one of the light poles. And everything has already, because Denise is right on top of it, been submitted to our insurance company. And some of the, I believe, repair people were already coming in today to look. So once we get a better idea on cost and what our options are, I'm sure Frank will be willing to share that with us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
anything else? That's good.
Yes,
okay.
I have
Do
one.
any other board members have any questions?
Yeah, can you
Sure,
hear
Nick.
me? Thanks.
Yes, I can.
Frank, knowing the limitations on results from testing and the fact that regions were canceled, what can you derive from the results of the children's exam this last quarter? Give us some insight that would give insight as to their achievement related to virtual instruction.
Ned, if it's okay, I'm just going to defer to Andrea a little bit on that. We did give iReady assessments as part of our regular, K through 6 program. We gave local assessments for our high school kids, and we did give AP exams. I still don't have those data at my fingertips, but Andrea may have a little bit more information, and if not, we can absolutely get that information to the board. But Andrea, do you have anything on that?
Thank you.
I just started to pull those data together. I have the results from the AP exams. I received them this morning. I haven't had a chance to really put them in any order yet. So I'll be working on that. And then also we're going to start to pull reports out of iReady and take a look at that. We did do a gap analysis in terms of the curriculum that was used from March until April, or I'm sorry, through June rather, so that we have a sense of the curriculum that was taught during that time and any final assessments that were done through those with local assessments that the teachers administered at that time. So I don't have those particular data. Those are going to be harder for me to put my hands on. But the iReady data and also the AP data, I can pull together fairly quickly.
Thank you.
Yeah, one thing I just want to make sure that we stress, and I'll let Andrea again, she'll bring her instructional lens to this, is that the big tell will be when we start to do assessments when the kids return, both our Fontes and Pinnell leveled reading, as well as iReady as they return. We'll be able to compare starting assessment scores from this year to previous years, and that will probably give us a pretty good indication as to what the true impact of the magnification of COVID slide and summer slide has been. Andrea, do you have any more on that? Because
When I met with the teachers in June as a part of the subcommittee for instruction, we identified different ways that the teachers would be able to collect data upon the students' return to school to identify where they are in terms of their reading levels, if there's any gaps in terms of sequential skills they need for mathematics. And we laid out the different ways that the teachers would be able to collect formative data and benchmarking data and also some diagnostic data. So we talked about the different ways they could do that. I am going to be meeting with the principals pretty soon, and we're going to start to lay out an assessment plan so that we have a schedule for when we return to school in terms of collecting those data by the end of September, if possible, depending on where we are with bringing students back into the building.
Who was on the committee dealing with the issue of changing the name from Red Raiders?
I'm sorry, Ned, who was involved in it?
Who were the members of the committee? Yes.
There wasn't a committee. The decision was made by the administrators, and they did share it with us at a meeting. And I think we all agreed at that one meeting we were at that it was the right thing to do based on not only the state telling us that there's a bill out there that could potentially hold up our state aid if we do not change it, but also more importantly, many recommendations, letters, emails that the school district received from past, present, and future alumni.
At the last meeting, it was said there was a committee.
No, it said there would be a committee to pick the new mascot. That they would involve
I think that,
go ahead.
I think Ned was talking about maybe the letter that came from Nicole Glennon from the diversity committee that we all got. Ned, is that what you're talking about?
Okay,
That's
the diversity committee,
one of
but
it.
it was already done by the time the diversity committee wanted to bring was bringing the subject up for discussion. Is that what you're talking
My
about, Ned? The
recollection was-
diversity and equity committee?
That, but I believe that you had mentioned a committee.
No, the diversity and equity committee asked to discuss it. They were going to discuss it at one of their upcoming meetings. That was going to be their focus. But by then it was already decided. The pressure was coming on, the letters, the emails were coming in. So it was already decided by the administration and the board, because they did mention it to us a number of times. Faith brought it up as well, due to the fact that, and I think Aaron is the one that emailed us as well. Aaron, was it you about the state aid?
No, I read that somewhere. I think I posted it on somebody's question on social media.
Yeah.
About losing
Okay,
state aid.
State aid, yes. So maybe it was Faith. I take it back. It was Faith. But we did have this discussion amongst board members. But again, at the end of the day,
And
it's
has
not
a
totally up. It's not up to us.
Decision been made as to what the name or the mascot is going to be?
No, it's going to be decided by the athletic director, the principal, the equity and diversity committee, and Dr. Sheboy. A group of people are going to decide. It's not going to be decided by one person. The diversity and equity committee is going to be involved.
I think the board should be involved as well. And if the board doesn't want to,
Well, I mean, there's board members. There's board members on the diversity and equity committee. I'm on it. Faith is on it. Aaron is on it. So I'm sure they'll be more than willing to bring the decisions or the suggestions back to us. Correct, Aaron?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Just for clarity,
Yeah.
are we talking obviously the Indian mascot? Are we talking about the Raiders name? Because I don't think there's personally anything wrong with the Raiders name.
No. Nothing's changing with the Raiders name. The only thing
Okay.
is the mascot. Anything that's being changed in the building that Frank gave us estimates of approximately $50,000. If you wanted to change the name Raiders, which no one is suggesting,
Okay.
but if you wanted to do that, then you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. But no
Yeah.
one's talking about that.
Yeah. No.
We're just talking about the Indian head.
I'm talking about it because frankly, if you look at it objectively, the word Raiders is more offensive to some people than an Indian chief who is represented in a positive, certainly not a negative way. I understand the sensitivity of the issue, but the word Raiders implies certain negatives, and it would seem to me that that has to be considered more. To me, that's been a significantly represented chief Indian. So I would like to be added to the persons who are going to be discussing and deciding the issue.
Well, to be honest with you, Ned, let me put a couple things out there. First of all, the emails and letters that I saw and the comments that I saw on Facebook and the bill that the state is bringing up were all directed at the Indian head. Nothing about the Raiders. So if that's the case, that's an issue.
That doesn't they are correct or that.
No, I understand that, but I want to finish what I'm saying. The next thing is, Ned, at this point in time, it's not going to be one of the first things on the list to do when school starts. Right now, our goal is to get these kids back in school safe and sound or getting them educated. So I think that, Frank, I'm pretty sure that's not top on your list.
I agree with you.
You're going to start gathering. Okay, good. Okay, so if you don't hear right away, that's why. Okay. And third of all, we really do need to keep the money thing in mind with all the money that we're going to be laying out this year for bringing these kids back to school and everything, because you're talking, $50,000 max, as opposed to $300,000 or $400,000 if we talk about changing the word Raiders. So let's wait and see what happens.
Just add me to the decision-making and discussion, people, please.
Okay.
I agree with you that we have much more important at the moment.
But at least we put out there that we're changing the Indian head so we can get off the bad list with the state and everybody else. So we're moving forward with that, but like you said, it won't be one of our priorities. The other thing is that we need to approve the tax warrant by the 20th of August. So we need to move our August 27th meeting to August 20th. And I wanted to make sure that we would have a quorum at this meeting in order to make that change. So, Jimmy, can you make it on the 20th and we'll cancel the 27th?
What?
That's a Thursday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thursday. So we'll cancel the 27th.
Whatever date you guys set, I'll be.
Okay, perfect. The 20th. Okay. And then, Aaron?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll make it work. I'm putting it in my calendar right now.
I'll come back to you. Thank you. And Marissa will send us a note. Gabe?
I'm good.
Did you say 6
Okay.
o'clock?
Yeah, we'll do 6 again.
Okay, perfect.
Gus?
Got it.
And Gus, are you available
Here.
on the 20th instead of the 27th?
Yes, of course. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, and Ned and Colonel Marston.
I intend to be there.
Okay, and Colonel Marston.
Yes, ma'am. That'll be fine.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Marissa, you can go ahead and make that change.
Okay, will do. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. No, thank you, Denise, for bringing that to our attention. Do any other board members have any other comments at this time before I turn it over to Dr. Sheboy?
Nope.
How
Okay, all you, Frank.
much do you,
Oh, sorry.
one second, please. How much do you anticipate that new position that is to be created in, I think it's the number 13, the consent agenda this evening? Attendance,
It's number 16 now, number
person.
16.
okay.
Ned, it's less than
It's
25.
the full-time attendance need.
It's about $25,000. There's no benefits ascribed to it.
You, Frank.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Sheboy, go ahead, please.
So I have just a few things. We have been feverishly working on our reopening plan and just finalizing some of the things from last night even. We intend to submit that plan tomorrow to the state. The board will be asked just to generally approve it, and in addition to set aside policies that may be counter to it, even though it's pro forma, because policy that would be a counter to law or counter to commissioner's regulation would not be valid policy anyway. Council recommended that just as it's good practice. We did have our second town hall last night. Thank you to Stefan for coordinating that. Thank you to Dr. Theodore. Again, the quality of it was better. We appreciated that, but again, we believe it was informative, and we have another one scheduled for next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And the primary focus of the next one is really to dig deep and to look at specifically, what it would look like for our kids and our faculty and staff. Our principals will be participants in that one as well. I had the opportunity yesterday to sit down with the new garrison commander, Colonel Rossell. It was a great meeting, and I'm looking forward to working with the garrison commander in the future. Obviously, our past former garrison commander is now our liaison, and I valued his work in liaising with him, and I'm going to continue to do so. We are arranging a office call to O'Neill so that Colonel Rossell can see the building along with the administration there, and certainly if anybody wanted to join from the board on that tour, they certainly would be welcome. I'll get the date out as soon as I have it. That's all I have for the evening.
Frank, you'll shoot that out as an email to us, invite?
Yeah, as soon as I have a date.
Okay.
And I would like to echo what Frank said. I mean, the work that went into those town halls was just amazing. They were very, very informative. A major majority of the questions that were submitted were answered, and they continued to answer the questions in a very professional, detailed way. I love the honesty. If we don't know an answer to something, meaning not yet, or if we're waiting on the governor, it's put out there. So I am very thankful, and I'm very appreciative on behalf of the board for all the work that you all did on that. So thank you very much for that. So I can now turn it over to Andrea. Dr. Theodore?
Good evening. As Dr. Sheboy said, big focus has been on completing the reopening plan. You have the final copy. So that will go out tomorrow. And now shifting the focus just a bit to complete and submit the consolidated application for the 4 title grants that we have this year. Title I, we're receiving $142,693. For Title II, we're receiving $35,092. The funding for Title III has not yet been released. And for Title IV, we have $11,073. So I'll be putting those applications and drafting the budgets, and then I'll be meeting with Denise to review those budgets. And also, we're going to be taking a look at the, how the Federal CARES Act funding fits into that picture. With the Federal CARES Act funding, we're receiving $156,213. I think Denise mentioned that at the previous board meeting as well. So we'll get together and take a look at, what all of that means in terms of creating our budgets for those funding streams. And I'm distracted by Frank and his dog. And put those applications together as well. I'll also be meeting with principals to really start to fine tune what the school's schedules will need to look like in the different scenarios that we have for returning to school. And also then assembling what we'll be doing for the professional development that's happening on September 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and start to put that together as well. So that's what's coming up.
Thank you very much. Denise, I know you've been very, very busy.
Yes, we had the audit this week. And the good news is out of 7 funds, we've closed 6 of them this morning. So that was a good thing. So they're just finalizing the general fund. I'll have to get some information to them next week. I'm going to be away for a couple of days for vacation. We did 70 scars. The assessment reviews, claimant. So this is the first time in a couple years we received any of those. So people are asking their assessments. So we'll have to wait to see how that plays out over the months. And as we stated, we'll have to approve a tax warrant on the 20th. We won't be getting information from the county until next week sometime, I was told, questioning where the information was. So Nicole and I will, after we get final audit, we'll be working on the New York State Tree that's due at the end of August also. So it's a lot of different information from the time consuming. So we've been using Forecast Plus with these, it makes getting numbers together and it's a lot. And then I'll also start working on the ST3 once we get finalized the audit and the state makes available state aid forms in the business portal. So as we discussed very earlier that had the damage at the school, Tom did come to see me this afternoon, and we have about $20,000 alone in repairs right now. Just so people have an idea of the damage. So we're hoping that weekend to get going on that. We'll actually start this. That's all I have right now. And that's
How much is the deductible?
$2,500.
How much is the deductible? Thank you.
$25. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Denise. Okay, I think we have Beth. I don't know, Beth, if you have any updates for us, or if you would like to pass. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I think I'm good. Everything's going well in the PPS office, and interviewing new secretaries. And Mike and I are looking at new, we're interviewing the ENL teacher and special ed lead position. So that's pretty much all that's going on.
Okay, thank you. And Tom, we're very much looking forward to an update on how the schools are doing.
The schools are coming along good, and they're still doing the waxing and that, but they'll be on time. I have training with them next Tuesday on properly cleaning. Their method of cleaning ain't acceptable, so we're gonna reiterate how important it is to clean properly. So they're training on that.
Yes, that'd be very, very. Oh God, that's so important.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah. The one thing that when I was in there today, I wanted to talk to Frank. I was talking to Frank. Frank suggested maybe some of the board members might want a tour or an idea of how the sensors are going to work for the taking temperature.
Oh, I could show them that at the intermediate anytime you want a tour.
Hey,
Okay, so
I
Frank,
got. Hey, Ann, I saw that today. I was at the intermediate school for Isabella's senior portraits, and those things are amazing. I didn't know what they were when you walked in, the infrared cameras, and they show the green over your head, and Mike kind of gave me the rundown on them real quick. Unbelievable. They're crazy. They're crazy.
okay, so if anybody does
what are they?
want to,
So they're like cameras that sit up on these tall tripods, and they shoot down towards the door. And as you walk in, it's measuring the temperature of your face, and it shows up green if it's is acceptable, and if it's too high, it shows up red. And they're able to stop people at the door who are coming in with high temperatures. If I'm explaining that right, Frank, if that's not right, correct me.
It's
No,
correct.
that's pretty correct, Aaron.
And it could scan 16 people a second.
Yeah, it's great. It's unbelievable. It really is. And they got them set up at every entrance. That was open.
and Dr. Sheboy explained them last night on the town hall, so it was so that everyone's aware of it.
Yeah, one of the concerns that people have had about our returning and using any sort of scanning device is what does it do as far as the delay at arrival? This particular system should minimize any delay at arrival. As Tom said, you've got 16 people per second. We've got 3 entrances at the HFIS. Tom, is it 2 or 3 at the high school?
We can definitely set up for 2. The third one's going to be a little difficult. We have to bring it in more. We wanted that third one for the admin entrance. Well, that's my logistics.
Okay, yeah, and we have 1 for the fort, and that means that we can bring in a lot of people in a very short period of time through these. Other schools are coming out to see them because we jumped on them, in May,
April.
when we thought we would need to have April. Thank you. When we thought we would need these, and other districts said, "Oh no," and now that they have to provide screenings at doors, they started to get them.
Frank, will the inside of the building or Tom be the inside of the building be up and running by the time the students get back at the high school?
That's the goal.
We anticipate all of our buildings will be up and functional.
Okay.
Okay, Denise, all you.
Thank you for being farsighted.
Okay. Use of the consent agenda permits the Board of Education to make more effective use of time by adopting a single motion to cover those relatively routine matters which are included. Any member of the board who wishes to discuss individually a particular piece of business on the consent agenda may so indicate, and that item will be considered on separately, thus preserving the right of all board members to be heard on any issue. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following agenda as submitted by the superintendent of schools, number 2 to 17.
Motion.
Denise, if we could just edit that to say 2 to 18, the one item for approving salary advancements should be under the consent agenda. It says discussion, but it should be under the consent.
Okay, 2 to 18.
Motion.
But before I vote on that, how come?
I need a motion and a sec. Hold on, I need a second first, Ned. Hold on, please. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
How come
Go ahead,
on
Ned.
the printed agendas, for instance, on number 5, Hendrick Hudson special ed course, why isn't that number printed on the printed agenda so that public,
We-
if the public that
We
they would
added-
know the number?
Well, they would know because we added it to the agenda today, so it's online. We had, Frank explained there was 2 motions, I think, right, Frank?
Yes, I think Ned's talking
Edit.
about a different,
So they're on the,
The contract for Henrik Hudson.
yeah, Ned's talking
We
about a
did that
different item.
You're right, Frank. I'm talking about
Yeah,
the special ed tuition for payment to Hendrick Hudson.
Hendrick Hudson is
Right,
number
right.
7 on the agenda now, correct?
Yes, Ned had a printed copy from prior to adding those two about
Okay.
A, adopting the plan,
That's
and
what I'm
B.
saying.
So his is number 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, right, so the board has to look and the community looks at the most recent agenda that's posted. That's why we do it, or that's why we always use our Chromebook. Because there are times when we add,
Where the public,
we have to add last minute.
where the public used to be able to come into the meetings and pick up a copy of the agenda. Can the public
Yes,
still do that if they wanted through the school?
The
they can
agenda,
get it on the website. It's online.
Say they don't have the website. They don't have
It's online and the website.
capacity. But there are people that don't have that capacity or the equipment.
Well, we don't, that's not what we do, Ned. We moved it to that. We moved to the, and we all agreed and we approved the motion to move to board docs.
What is the number?
Denise, do you have the cost for number 7 on the Hendrick Hudson contract?
The
No,
100
because I didn't
is
see that.
number
I
7.
agenda. All right,
Hold on,
I think
everybody,
we
wait.
already approved it.
Hold on. Hendrick Hudson is number
think-
7 on the
go ahead.
agenda.
Yes.
Please, hold on. Everybody can see the agenda online that has number 7 as Hendrick Hudson. Am I right? Is that what you guys see?
Yes.
Okay. Number 5, Ned, is suspend Board of Education policies. And Frank can explain what that is. That was added?
That's not what I was asking though.
Ned, what's on
You're
the
what-
attachment? The attachment doesn't speak to a
What
dollar
Ned is
amount.
asking is if the community. No, we never put dollar because you don't know what it's going to be, right?
There is a contract for
Ned, can you
services.
tell me again what your question is? Exactly what your question is, Ned, so we make sure we answer it correctly.
There's a contract to provide services for students going to Hendrick Hudson. Normally, those numbers, whether the children are going to Monroe for health services, what have you, the numbers are normally out there. So what is the number on this one?
This one is not this is the instructional contract.
Yeah, so where's the
So we don't
contract
put
number?
we don't put the money on that. But that's not, it's because that has the student's name and things on it. Am I right, Frank? I don't remember spending money on student contracts, right?
Right.
We have
So-
to anticipate
Yes.
in the budget what we're going to pay.
That's separate. That's, if you wanted to know that, you can share with you what it will.
I wanted, what is it,
Yeah.
national security secret? Seriously?
No,
Actually, no,
it's not an ID information. It's student. You can find it out as a board member, but I'm happy to share it with you. We
I'm not asking
students, they don't know.
the name of the student. I'm asking what the district is going to pay. That's all I'm asking. And anybody ought to be able to get that answer.
Okay, so the tuition rate is set by New York State. The tuition rate is
And what
set
is
by
it?
New York State. Am I correct, Frank? And
That is correct. The That is special correct. It's education in the tuition rate. attachment. It actually specifies that the sending school will pay the tuition rate as established by New York State for the program and for ESY programs. Beth?
Are we sending there?
One right now, Jeff is saying, one. Now,
When somebody has the established tuition rate, if you can send that to me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so the motion passes. And one other thing that I just wanted to share with the board is that we got the executive order last night from the governor to extend the use of these Zoom calls for meetings. So I think it's September 4th. Is it,
Yes, it's
Marissa?
correct.
Okay. Okay. We'll be having our board week this and also our on the 20th, and then visit after that.
Hey Ann, I'm just for perception purposes, like I'm good with the virtual meetings. I just
Yeah.
I'm worried about what parents and other community members might think if we're opening schools up to kids, but we're still virtual meeting because
We're
we're
opening
not
schools
safe.
up to kids. Yeah, we're opening schools up to kids third week in September.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, looking ahead at that, if we want to start getting back into regular meeting, people are going to look at it and say that
Yeah,
too.
after September 4th, we can definitely look at getting back. And as far as I know, right now, last meeting is the 20th, and they have one the first week of September, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So there's a lot of protocol that we have to put in place to have an in-person meeting. We all have to wear masks. You have to be sitting 6 feet apart. You all have to make sure that the meetings are that there's enough room for audience members to come comfortable sitting 6 feet apart. That's not something that we can do right now anyway. While the construction going on at the high, we could talk about potentially our meeting moving out temporarily and the intermediate potentially. And Marissa had some ideas of potentially maybe doing. But again, if you guys take a role, guys can see if you want the meeting first, be right
No,
away.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not.
All right.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like if we're looking in ahead, as school's getting started back up again, that's just something we want to look at.
The governor's going to tell us. I think depending on it's a lot of decisions. He'll be at the meeting.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No, thank you.
The retreat is going to be virtual for next week?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So if no one has anything else, then I would like to make a motion for us to go be a result with the Board of Education. This is into executive session for the purpose of the employment history of a particular individual. And Frank, what was the other
Collective negotiations.
thing?
Collective negotiations under the Taylor law. with the teachers.
The town of Hudson. And the board will not be returning to open session to take action. And get a motion and a set up.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Before I just apologize for listening on so many of the internet passed, so we're doing this on our computer of our phone. So we're sorry if any confusion tonight. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Well, thank you, everybody. Stay safe and please stay on for the executive session.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Right.